Hello, solo travelers, and welcome to another episode right here on your channel, The Solo Traveler. I just got back from Sao Paulo, Brazil. It was my first time in Brazil, and I was in Sao Paulo for 10 days. So I brought a lot of good experiences, but also a lot of notes that I want to share with all of you. I actually have them here on my screen just to make sure I don't leave anything out. These notes are based on my experience and I believe will be very helpful, especially if you're planning to go to Sao Paulo for the first time. So get a pen and paper and let's do this. First things first. As we all know, Brazil is located in South America. It's a humongous country. Sao Paulo is a humongous city. It's actually the biggest in the Americas. But before you say, hey, let's roll, keep in mind that if you have an American passport, you will need a visa. I had to use my Dominican passport. Okay, so as soon as you get there, what do all of us do? Turn on our cell phone. If you have an international plan, great. If not, eSIMs will do the trick, like Holofly, okay? So you can go on the website. I'm not promoting, they're not paying me. It's the first one that came to mind for international eSIMs. Speaking of cell phones, actually, to charge it, as well as anything else that you need to charge, bring a universal plug adapter. Why? Because in Brazil, they have a different set of outlets. So you don't want to get there late at night with your cell phone at like 3% and then you go to charge it. Oops. Yeah, the outlets there are different. So keep that in mind. Bring a universal plug adapter. You can get them on Amazon. They're widely available.
Estava a viver, caminhando na vida, sempre chorando por uma nova ferida. Mas como até que de mato nasce uma.
I decided, out of all the neighborhoods available, or good, safe neighborhoods, I guess, I decided to stay in Pinheiros. It's a nice neighborhood, but I would recommend others later in the video. Now, let's talk money. You know, we all need money to travel. Can't travel without that. The dollar, the exchange is 5 reales and 20 cents per dollar. Okay? I recommend you bring some cash. Always have some cash available. Depends on what you're planning to do and depends on how long you're there. Then you can make that determination. For yourself. However, credit cards are widely accepted. All right. Just make sure that your credit card doesn't have a foreign transaction fee. Okay, because it's going to add up. Shopping and restaurants are pricey, you could say, or comparable to some cities in the United States. I don't think you're gonna find a lot of difference in prices if you're shopping or in restaurants. All right, so just keep that in mind. Speaking of shopping, I didn't do a lot of it, but the prices, like I said, are comparable to the US. I went the shopping that I did. I just brought like a t-shirt and some running shoes. I went to Shopping El Dorado and Iguatemi Mall, which is like a fancier upscale mall. And both these malls are near Itaim Bibi, which is upscale neighborhood. It's actually pretty nice.
Muitas vezes é da dor que vem o amor. Eu que pensava que era engano.
first thing that comes to mind when when Brazil is mentioned is safety. Okay, and let me tell you something. The cell phone theft over there, it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. It feels like it feels tense just to hold your phone in public. And this is the reason why I'm making this video from my home, my apartment here in Dominican Republic, because I just couldn't take out my phone. I couldn't just, I couldn't just take it out and record. And if I did, I kept it hidden. I kept it or took it out just briefly, just take a picture or a quick 5-second video. But I had to look over my shoulder just to make sure there was nobody near me. So it's actually pretty tense. I was told multiple times by Uber drivers and even the tour guide. I went on 2 tour guides, actually, walking tours and pub crawl. And the tour guide, it was like a 7-hour walking tour. And she told us on multiple occasions, yeah, just careful with your phone, blah, blah, blah. And it has to do with the fact that cell phones are very, very expensive due to the high import taxes on electronics that they have in Brazil. The taxes are very, very expensive. I did some research. For example, an iPhone 17 Pro Max can cost around $2,500. And supposedly with that kind of money, or even with $2,000, one of these thieves or these criminals it's like hitting the lottery for them. I was having a conversation with a waitress, and she told me that she got stabbed on her thumb for her cell phone. So, and she was a local. She showed me the scar, and I'm like, damn. And she was also telling me, hey, put your cell phone away. So, huge deal. All right. The good thing is that there's a high police presence in touristic areas. That's when I kind of took out my phone, and I was able to take some pictures and do some recordings. But most of the time, I was not comfortable with having my cell phone out. However, I have to add that I never felt threatened or that anyone was coming after me or looking at me or anybody suspicious around me. Nothing of that nature. So it was fairly good when it comes to safety. But again, common sense, Let's talk about, I'm going to call it social life, all right? One of my biggest frustrations over there was the language barrier. Oh man, I can count with one hand how many English or Spanish speakers I came across while there. I'm bilingual, English and Spanish. And I was surprised that Brazil, being surrounded by Spanish-speaking countries, that they're not more at least fluent or know conversation in Spanish. So, but English, I only encounter English speakers in retail or in a coffee shop. So it was very limited, and I can count like maybe 4 people that spoke English. Okay, so don't expect to find a lot of English speakers when you go to Sao Paulo. All right, let's talk about the nightlife. Vila Madalena is a neighborhood with a whole bunch of bars. I did a pub crawl there. It was pretty fun. The caipirinhas there were, you got to try them when you head over there. If you ever, and they have different ones too, but they are lit. So you've been warned.
Olho seus olhos de luz e vejo anjo.
the single fellas, let's talk about dating. You know, there are beautiful women everywhere, but it helps tremendously if you can speak Portuguese. But not only dating, but social interactions too. When I was talking about the my frustration with very little English speakers over there, not a lot of them. So if you can pick up on your Portuguese, even better. So that way you'll be able to interact socially. However, going back to dating, from what I understand, for you single fellas, from what I understand, a lot of Brazilian women prefer dating Brazilian dudes. If you can carry a conversation in Portuguese, then more power to you. But trust me, you won't be able to carry a conversation with any translating apps, okay? What else? I'd recommend that you go on tours. I mentioned that I did a couple of them, but I highly recommend that you go on these walking tours. I booked mine on TripAdvisor. If you know somebody there or a friend of a friend, even better, talk to them. If you're planning to go to Sao Paulo, I think it helps. I didn't know anybody there, so I was just all by myself. Like I said before, I went for 10 days, and quite frankly, I thought it was a bit too much, especially because of the language barrier, not knowing anyone there, and basically just not really like a lot to see that interests me. Let's talk about tourism. Speaking of, that we're on the subject of social interactions. Now let's talk tourism. As I said earlier, I was going to recommend some good neighborhoods. I like Itaim Bibi, which is upscale neighborhood. Vila Madalena, that's for nightlife. Even downtown, but during the daytime, not at night. I went to downtown a couple of times, and yeah, it looks like it's shady. There's still some shady people around, but also there's a lot of police as well. But I'll avoid downtown at night. I also visited Liberdade, which is a Japanese Little Japan, basically, and Jardims, which is kind of upscale, it's north or east of Itaim Bibi, but it was a good neighborhood. But it was another good neighborhood, and that's actually one that I enjoyed. Now, where did I go? What places did I visit? All right, I went to Mercado Municipal. It's actually pretty cool. I like there's so much available, fruits, drinks, and you have all these vendors trying to pull you into their corner. Hey, come here, try this. They're offering drinks, coffee, caipirinha, you name it. All right, a lot of stuff available, a lot of fruits that I've never seen before. But it's a pretty cool place. I liked it. I enjoyed it. The other one I went to Liberdade, which is Little Japan, as I mentioned. A lot of good food there too. Oh yeah, there's a lot of good food. I also visited the football museum, the soccer museum, but we're gonna call it football. All right. So I went to the football museum. This was pretty cool. This is I liked it. I'm not even a huge football fan, but I enjoy the game though. They have all these, pretty much the entire history of football in Brazil. And it was pretty cool. I liked it. I spent about, I'll say 1.5 hours there. This museum is located at the municipal stadium, which is the the field for, I believe it's Sao Paulo Football Club. And it was a nice sight. It was nice. I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it a lot. I also visited Avenida Paulista. It's like a huge boulevard. It's long and pretty safe, actually. During the daytime, I didn't go at night because it's pretty much a commercial boulevard, commercial street. So I walked, had coffee there, a couple of restaurants. They have shopping malls, museums. There's a lot to do there. There's a lot to see. I spent a lot of time here just walking. So that was pretty neat. The other place I visited was Farol Santander, which is at the Santander building. You go up, I believe it was the 26th floor, and they have incredible views. Very nice, and the weather was phenomenal too. It was pretty good weather. They also have a coffee shop there too, so you can enjoy a coffee while you enjoy the views as well. Once you're done there, you go down these stairs. You go to the 25th floor, 24th, 23rd, and they have arts exhibits, and that was pretty cool. I enjoyed it. Pretty much the history of Brazilian art. The other place I visited was Beco the Batman, or Batman Alley. This is pretty cool, especially if you like mural art or urban art. They call it the Batman Alley, but there's other paintings there too as well. It's not just all Batman. I spent about an hour there, took a lot of pictures, videos. It was pretty cool. I enjoyed it, and I think you will do too, especially if you like that kind of stuff. Finally, I went to Ibirapuera Park. I hope I didn't screw up the pronunciation, but it's like the Central Park of Sao Paulo. Humongous. It's a lot of green there. So if you like nature, walking around, this is the spot for you. It's pretty enjoyable. The day that I decided to visit, the weather was cloudy. It was cold too. So this is we're talking about October. So it gets chilly there too. I almost forgot that. You might want to bring a jacket. And that's the start of like spring, because in South America, the summer is during the winter months in the United States. So they have summer in November, December, January, as opposed to the U.S. where it's winter, or in the northern hemisphere, I should say. So just keep that in mind, depending on the month that you go to. Just make sure that you look up on the weather. Okay. Now, getting around. Let's talk about that, because that's obviously a pretty important thing to talk about when you travel. I used Uber to go pretty much everywhere. It worked fine. It was affordable. I thought I didn't pay more than $3.50 per ride, except coming from the airport. It'll run about $17 to $20, which is not bad. It's about half an hour to the neighborhood that I was staying at in Pinheiros, and that's without traffic. So I didn't use the public transportation. They do have I do have passes, but this is one of the few places that won't accept credit cards if you're a foreigner. Only cash. Okay, they only accept cash for foreigners. So don't ask me why. I really don't know. It's a mystery. So there's really no need to rent a car. You can use Uber pretty much everywhere you go. It's a very walkable city, I should say. There's a lot of walking to do. Now, as I said earlier, big city problems. The traffic, holy smokes. Yeah, it's pretty bad. It's notorious. Luckily, I got there late at night. So coming from the airport to the apartment I was in, no traffic at all. But keep that in mind when you head back to the airport. Okay, it's a lot of traffic. I had to go during the daytime back to the airport. When I left, I decided to leave the apartment like 4.5 hours before my flight, just in case. I got there fine, everything worked, but keep that in mind, the traffic, okay? If you want to go to Rio while you're in Sao Paulo, there are bus services 24/7. Buses depart from Sao Paulo's main bus station, Terminal Tietê. I hope I'm not screwing up that pronunciation. And the rides take about 6.5 hours from Sao Paulo to Rio. From what I was told, asking some of the locals, it's better to buy it at the buy the ticket at the bus terminal versus getting them online. Maybe if you do this a lot, you can get the hang of it, right? And you can buy it online. I'm not saying you can't, but when you get there, it's pretty confusing. So for first timer, if you're going from Sao Paulo to Brazil, Sao Paulo to Rio for the first time, just go there, buy the ticket right there, so that way they can point you into the right direction. You don't have this online ticket and you have to look for your bus, okay? They depart just about every hour, 24/7. Every hour there's a bus, Sao Paulo, Brazil. So at least there's a lot of options. And from what I understand, it's pretty affordable. Let's talk about food. And I was very happy with the food, restaurants. I was happy with it. It was good food. That especially Brazilian food is pretty good. I was surprised. I never had Brazilian food before. I didn't know what to expect, but I enjoyed it. And so I think you will do as well. I think I gained like 2 pounds. Excuse me. Oh no, it was actually 4. That cough was because I think I was not being honest. I was really happy with all the restaurants, even cafeterias. You can go and just grab a quick bite, but I was satisfied with the food in restaurants. Okay, now, the thing about Sao Paulo is, just to conclude this video, is that it's not really a touristic city. Sao Paulo is a city to work, live, and party, and do business, okay? For tourism, I don't know if there's like a lot to do or a lot of I don't know. I don't want to say interesting thing because that's up to you. I can't, what's interesting to me, it's not going to be interesting for everybody else. But it's up to you. They have a lot of museums if you like that, if you like the big city life. But will I go back? Maybe if there's something specifically that I'm interested in, or an occasion, not just to go because, I love Sao Paulo and I can't wait to go back. No, it's not. To me, it wasn't that type of city. I'm glad I went. I've been wanting to visit Brazil for more than 20 years. So I finally made it happen. If these notes helped you, then great. If you have any questions, comments, or you want to add something, please use the comment section, especially if you've been there before. But other than that, that's it for today. Thank you all for watching. And as always, safe travels, my friend.